Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, we've got a little tougher book for my lower kids. This is a level 5 book. So this is a level 5-1. So my 4th and 5th graders, 6th graders, you can do this one. So you're really going to have to pay attention. But my lower kids, you can learn something about this and about some tales. If you've got this book, go get it and follow along. What if you had an animal tail? Think about that. What kind of tail would you have? What if you had an animal tail? By Sandra Markle, illustrated by Howard McWilliam. What if one day, when you woke up, threw back your covers, and got out of bed, something felt different? What if overnight you had grown a wild animal's tail? What kind of tail has she got? A raccoon. What kind of tail? A peacock. A male peacock has a tail with feathers up to 6 feet long that can fan across its back. The feathers have eye-like spots and beautiful colors like blue, green, and gold. This bird sheds and regrows its tail feathers each year, just in time for mating season. The peacock uses them to win a female mate called a peahen. The bigger the fantail and the more eye spots displayed, the better the peacock's chances of gaining a mate. Fact: each peacock's tail has its own special pattern of eye spots and shimmering colors. Imagine if you had a peacock tail. Oh, what do we have here? A ground squirrel. A South African ground squirrel's long bushy tail is a built-in-the-sun umbrella. The squirrel uses its tail for shade. Since there are too few trees or bushes in dry places where it likes to live, the squirrel usually spends the day searching for seeds and small plants to eat. But in the summer, the temperature can get up to 114 degrees Fahrenheit. So the squirrel turns its back to the sun and curls its long tail over its head. Then it has its own personal shade. The fact: when a South African ground squirrel sees a cobra, it waves its bushy tail and the snake leaves it alone. Wow. A scorpion. See the scorpion tail? A scorpion's tail and body have an armor called an exoskeleton. Its tail is also tipped with a deadly stinger. When the scorpion is hunting, it uses its pincers, or it flicks its tail to pierce its prey and inject it with liquid venom. This poison stops the prey from getting away, and when the scorpion is attacked by a larger predator, such as a snake or bird, the scorpion can use its painful sting to defend itself. Then the scorpion escapes. Baby scorpions, called scorpions, ride on their mother's back until they develop their armor, coat, and produce venom. Thresher shark. A thresher shark's tail isn't just for swimming. It also makes the shark a super hunter. The top half of the thresher shark's tail is extra long. For some adults, this part of the tail can be as long as their body, up to about 20 feet. When it goes hunting, the thresher shark swims at a school of small fish. When it whips its long tail over its head, striking some of the fish. Smack! Just like that, the stunned fish became dinner. Fact, a thresher shark swings its tail in just 1/3 of a second. About as quick as a human can blink their eyes. Pretty amazing. A giraffe. See the giraffe tail? A giraffe's tail is a record holder, including the tail tuft. That's this part. It can be up to 8 feet long. That makes it the longest tail of any land mammal. The bottom half of the giraffe's tail is long tuft of hair, but the top half is muscle and separate tailbones. These tailbones allow the tail to bend at each joint, which is where the bones meet. So a giraffe can swish its tail to swat away any biting bugs with its long tail tuft. Fact, every giraffe has its own unique spot pattern all over its body, including its long tail. Rattlesnake. A rattlesnake has a built-in alarm system at the tip of its tail. When the snake shakes its tail, it makes a noisy rattle. That means, leave me alone. As a baby, a rattler has just a button at its tail tip. The rattle forms and grows longer as the rattlesnake gets older. Every time the snake grows and sheds its own old skin, a new segment is exposed at the base of the tail, adding another part to the rattle. Fact, when a rattlesnake rattles, it shakes its tail back and forth about 60 times a second. So 60 times it rattles back and forth and snap. A beaver. A beaver's tail is a broad, flat paddle covered with leathery scales. An adult beaver's tail can be more than 1 foot long, about 1/3 of the length of its body. In the water, a beaver's tail is the perfect rudder, steering the animal while it swims with its webbed back feet. When a predator comes close, a beaver smacks its tail on the water's surface to warn its family there's danger and hopefully scare away the predator. Fact, on land, a beaver uses its strong, stiff tail as a prop while munching leaves or gnawing down trees. Tokay gecko. A tokay gecko is usually able to hide from predators like birds or snakes, But when it's spotted and a predator grabs the reptile by the tail, the gecko uses its best escape trick. Dropping off the end of its tail, the nerves in the tip of the tail make it wiggle, even though it's no longer on the gecko. When the predator checks out the piece of lost tail, the gecko makes its getaway. Fact, a tokay gecko regrows its lost tail in less than a month and can drop it again if it needs to. For the football player who's grabbed his tail, it's gone. Spider monkey. A spider monkey can use its long tail to grab something and hold on. The monkey's tail helps it stay safe as it swings through the trees. Its tail muscles are so strong that the spider monkey can even dangle by just the end of its tail. It's the perfect safety line while climbing with all 4 feet, or when there's no place to sit while the monkey is out on a limb picking fruit to eat. The fact about a spider monkey wraps its tail around its mother like a seat belt when it rides on her back. Crocodile. A crocodile's tail is nearly half the size of its length and is packed with muscles. It sweeps its powerful tail side to side to propel itself forward through the water while its back feet steer. The crocodile can swim as fast as 18 miles per hour this way. For a crocodile, speed means catching a fast fish dinner or charging fast enough to surprise something much bigger, like a baby hippo. Fact, a crocodile can use its tail to launch out of the water and snatch birds or monkeys from overhanging tree branches. Ooh. A kangaroo. A red kangaroo uses its big tail like a 5th leg while hopping. To hop, the kangaroo leans forward until its front feet are touching the ground. Next, propped up by its tail, the kangaroo swings both of its hind feet ahead of its front feet, and when it springs forward, its big tail keeps its balance, flopping this way. Red kangaroos are hopping this way. Red kangaroos have been clocked traveling as fast as 40 miles per hour. The fact, when a male red kangaroo is fighting for a mate, he balances on his tail and tiptoes to look bigger. A wild animal's tail can be fun for a while, but you don't need a tail to swat flies or scare off predators. You can get by without a tail to hang from or to help you swim faster than for your dinner. And you're great on your own, even without a fantail to show off. But if you could keep a wild animal tail for more than one day, what might it be? What would be right for you? Luckily, you don't have to choose. You don't need a tail because you already have a tailbone. That's right, you have a tailbone for your body. Your tailbone is exactly what you need to sit down, stand up straight, or ride your bike, or even sit cross-legged on the floor. Special about your tailbone, it supports to brace your back. Your tailbone, also called the coccyx, is the name for the last few bones of your spine. It helps the ligaments and muscles and tendons that all attach to help you stay straight and have the support of standing up straight, even when you isn't anything to lean against. Like any other bone in your body, your tailbone can break. Falling backward and landing hard on your rear end can do it. Your tailbone can also be hurt by sports, especially those requiring sitting while moving, such as rowing or bike riding. Injured tailbones standing and sitting are very painful. So be careful. Don't sit too long. Be careful on wet surfaces. Might make you fall down. Don't just sit on one hip, on one side. Sit up straight with your shoulders back. Don't slump over. Now, if you enjoyed this book, my older kids, you can test. You got to tell me how you do. What tailbone would you pick? What animal tail would you pick for you? Or do you like yours just the way it is? Make sure in your comments, you older kids, y'all can tell me. Write me a little paragraph, couple sentences, and tell me, what animal tail would you pick and why? Make sure you subscribe to Cindy's Corner, hit that blue button, and give us 2 thumbs up, and give me a comment on what tail you would pick. Tell your friends about Cindy's Corner. Have a great day.